Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Word for the World. We are in for a treat today. The Lord has blessed us with wisdom and knowledge and understanding. And Solomon said, in all thy getting, get an understanding. And so we just want to tell the Lord we love him today as you all are chiming in from all over the country. We welcome you to click like and share this program. This is the Mount Zion Assembly Healing Temple, 4300 North Green Avenue. I'm your host, your pastor, your sister, Suffragan Bishop Monica Parchia Price today. And you know how we do. Sometimes we sing, we quote a scripture, sometimes we do both. So this is one of my favorite songs. I sing it often. And the Lord has given me this song today. I just want to tell him that I love him. I love you. I love you. I love you, Lord, today because you cared for me in such a special way. That's why I praise you. I lift you up. I magnify your name. Oh, that's why my heart is filled with praise. Oh, my heart, my mind, my soul belongs to you. You paid the price for me. Way back on Calvary, that's why I praise you. I lift you up, I magnify your name. Ooh, that's why my heart is filled with praise. Oh, that's why my heart is filled with praise. That's why my heart is filled with praise. Amen. God bless you. I see you chiming in. God bless you, Minister Gogans and Mother Kyles, and several of you are chiming in. Excuse me. Today, we have a wonderful presentation. It's not what you would call a real Bible-oriented or religious, but it is spiritual. For Hosea says, my people are destroyed or they perish for a lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. Hosea is saying this, that thou shalt be no more priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God. I will also forget thy children. And what this is saying is that the Lord has given us wisdom and knowledge even in the earth. God has given us wisdom and knowledge around us. Yes, we are in the beautiful sanctuary of Mount Zion Assembly, but he has given us knowledge many times that does not necessarily come from always the sanctuary. But he does says that it does come from the altar. And the altar can be anywhere you set up in your home, in your car. And so today we are so pleased. We're going to be talking about a research program called All of Us. It was created back in 2015 under the Obama administration, and it deals with tailoring medical care for the individuals, specifically African Americans, something known as precision medicine. Precision medicine. Many of the meds that we take are not made for our bodies. They're not made, they weren't made with us in mind. And so we have some Black doctors and some other people who are really on board this project to make the medicine that we take be tailor-made for our bodies. Many times we ingest and digest things that really didn't have us in mind. And so it's antithetical to our our chemistry, of our body. And so we're going to be talking about a research program. I believe God is going to be glorified in this project. And so I want us to bring on Miss Linda Jackson Colcroft, She is a wonderful woman of God, and she is editor-in-chief and publisher of Black Women 50 Plus Health and Lifestyle. She's been doing this out of her heart for 18 years. And so, Linda, we thank you for joining us this evening. We also have Miss Karen Dodson, who is representing all of us. And so I just want you to just introduce your guest and let's delve into this topic of precision medicine.
Okay, it is with great pleasure that I introduce Karen Dotson, the director, administrator of the All of Us program, which is administered through the Medical College of Wisconsin um, here in Milwaukee.
Yes.
Karen and I met each other, it's been more than 20 years ago. Both of us were managers at that time at the Social Development Commission. Since that time, she has gone on to hold a number of other important human services positions. I want to say Karen is someone who's genuine. She has a real heart. For helping people, empowering people through education and exposure to resources that perhaps in many instances, they are unaware of. And I'm pleased that through All of Us, she has a national platform uh,
Great.
because it's a well deserved honor. Um, she's also the first lady of the New Life International Ministries.
Oh,
So I mean, just
great.
well rounded and a
Balance,
with
Tom. Balance.
sisters. Yes, but also, a lot of people, a lot of us women, we talk the talk, but we don't walk the walk.
Come on.
I am pleased to say that Karen is someone who, on a regular daily basis, demonstrates what she promotes. She walks the walk so that everybody else has to look at their steps.
All right.
Karen Dotson.
You're going to have to unmute yourself, Miss Dotson.
All right. I'm like, who is this person Linda's talking about? Thank you so much. It's
Apologize.
truly an honor to be here today and to be able to just talk with everyone about this wonderful program that I just thank Bishop Monica for just really listening to us and also feeling that is so important that she wants to share this with you as well. And so as Linda mentioned, I'm the program director for the All of Us research program out of the Medical College of Wisconsin. This program is actually funded by the National Institute of Health, and it's really for a 10-year project that can even go even longer than that. We're in our fourth year, so we still have a ways to go. And that's why we're here to talk to you about this program, because we're hoping that you will also have interest in it and want to participate in it as well.
Mhm.
Ms. Dodson, can I just ask the audience, those of you, as you were listening, if you hear something, I shouldn't say if, when you hear something that piques your interest, please type in the question so that we can address it. Thank you.
Mhm.
All right. All right. Well, we are ready to start. If we can, change the PowerPoint, I appreciate that. I wanted to mention, as far as the All of Us research program is really historic as far as gathering information. Our goal is to gather information for 1 million or more people living in the United States. As you know, that researchers will use all of us data to study how individual differences in lifestyle. So we're going to be looking at, and we are looking at socioeconomics, environment, the biology effect of healthcare, health, and disease. And so this is a well-rounded program. Next slide, please. When you look into the program, as Bishop Monica mentioned, precision medicine. And so a lot of times we're asking ourselves, like, what is precision medicine?
Mhm.
Really, what it is that realistically is that it is personalized medication for you. So precision medicine is an emerging approach to disease treatment and prevention that takes into account individual variability and lifestyles. And that's what I mentioned about the social economics, environment, and biology. It is a racial shift in how each of us can receive the best care possible based on our unique
Radical.
makeup.
Mhm.
Yes.
So when we're looking at this, the goal is to look at as far as how we nurture relationships. So we're looking at 1 million or more. The more people that we have involved in this program, the more we're able then to see exactly what are some of the uniqueness of each individual and what are some of the commonalities of each individual. Our goal is also to deliver the largest, richest biomedical resource ever. If we get 1 million people in this program, it's going to allow for researchers to be able to use this information at higher capacity. I'm going to talk a little bit more down the road about, how it's secure and how you can feel comfortable being a part of this. The catalyst, the robust ecosystem of each researchers and funds hunger to use and support it. And then the last thing is to build and maintain a strong all of us team capable of achieving the program's mission. Next slide. What is the promise for participants? So what would you get out of this by being involved in this program? So I'm going to tell you, it's going to be improve the health of future generations, which means that not only you will benefit from this, but also your children and children's children will benefit from this as well. You're going to learn about your own health, the choice to access your own data. So you will be able to, being a part of this program, you're going to be able to access information that's related to you. We're going to also look at how to ensure that every community is included in studies that lead to new knowledge.
Can I right
yes.
there, just to capture our audience and make sure they don't leave or go to another page before we get to what this is really about. Is this particularly to African Americans, or is this for all race, all ethnicities?
It's for all race and ethnicities. However, we are really trying to get more people of color, African Americans, involved in this research. And the reason for that is that years ago, research basically was made up related to white male men. So the medications and things that you're taking are related to that research. And so when you're realizing that certain medications don't work well on you, is because you weren't a part of that research. And so, that makes a big difference as far as how your body responds to things depending on your makeup.
Yeah, that's what I want to get to, because people need to know where am I in the equation. So would you say this is something similar to Ancestry.com or something like that?
It is, in a sense, when you look at Ancestry.com, that talks about your genetics and your makeup. And we do get genetic information back. And so it allows for people to see exactly where you originated from. Some of the challenges that we have is that sometimes, because we are African Americans and we weren't voluntarily coming over here, so we lost sometimes our roots and where we originated from. And so we're able to get that information and share that with people as well. And it's free.
I think this project is so it's so good, because many times we are left, those of you who are watching, many times we are left out of the equation for medicine, for economics, for socioeconomic growth, and we have to stand up, be represented and counted. And it's very important that we are part of these studies and know sometimes, just as African Americans, we're just, I hate to say, sometimes we're just spooky. We have a lot of suspicion and with reason. I understand that, but we need to know that this is going to benefit us. These tests that are done are going to benefit us, and these medicines that are going to be developed is for us. You may not see it in your lifetime. These medicines are going to be developed with us in mind, with our biochemistry makeup in mind. So that's really what I want to get across to our audience,
And it's also the first time. I've done a lot of research on the program, and as well as not only all of us, but other research programs as well. And this is the first time, one of the few times in history, that there's also been an emphasis on including us, Black folks, in the research, which is just really significant. And you all talked earlier, Karen mentioned earlier about this being customized
Yes.
a customized approach to medicine, meaning that you will be treated for your particular DNA, and that is especially exciting to someone like me. I have a major respiratory problem. I have can I pronounce it now? I won't try. Anyway, I have a major respiratory illness, and I've been to Mayo Clinic. I've been to St. Luke's. I've seen doctors at Frederick.
Wow.
All of the major institutions that have a focus on lung disease, and no one has really been able to help me. The disease continues to spread. In fact, it's jumped from, and this is after having a third of my lung removed. My right lung removed. It is now in my left lung. And I still don't, there's still no cure for me. But with something like precision medicine, you will have, all of us will have a much better chance of survival, not just survival, but cure,
Wow.
a cure.
Yeah.
Because the medications that you will be given will match your DNA.
Now
Yeah.
that's
Chemical
incredible. I mean,
makeup.
that's incredible.
Yes.
Yeah. And I want to add too, Linda, something that you mentioned that I think we want our audience to know as well, that because your situation, your illness is really unique and is very challenging. The reason why the National Institute of Health wants to do 1 million people is because when you have a large amount of people, the probability of getting people similar to some of the challenges that you have, we can find them.
Yes.
And so then you can kind of look
Yes.
at what are some of the different genetics, the DNA that's kind of looking at, kind of like how, you having challenges and maybe what can happen. So these researchers are not going to try anything on you. They're just going to be looking at your blood, your urine, looking at your electronic records, and try to get that information and put it together to see exactly what can work best for you.
I think the whole point for me, what kind of sold me on the idea is that it's tailor made, because we are left off the table. We are forgotten about, underserved communities, things of that nature. And so I'm excited to see more about this project and even be a part of how it's going to help, how it has already helped the African American community, the more research they do.
Mm-hmm.
Most definitely, most definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to ask if we could switch to the next slide, because that really, Bishop Monica, that really kind of really segues into this as far as what is expected for providers. So what will your doctor or researchers really, what will they get behind this? They're going to get more tailored medicine for more people, impact of environment and lifestyle on health, differences in risk and treatment responses among diverse populations, information that may allow for earlier detection and better stratification of treatment strategies, better ways to share your electronic health record data, and new approaches to healthcare, such as how will it address health disparities. And health disparities means that, I just want to kind of break it down for people a little bit. When you talk about health disparities, a lot of times people in different races and different economic conditions, there's a gap as far as how health is in certain communities compared to other communities.
Yes.
And so that's something that, we're looking at. So this questionnaire that people will sign up, if you sign up for the program, there's questions that they ask you. And, because we're trying to really get information like in certain poverty or low income communities, why are certain people affected by certain things? So this really helps researchers look at determination of, well, like in certain places, was it the water? Was it the lead in the pipes? Was it this? Was it that? So those are the kinds of things that they want to look at on some of the health disparities as it relates to also environment. So that's why they want to know, like, do you live in an apartment? Do you live in a single home? Do you, where do you live? What environment?
Yes.
Yeah.
So kind of a nature nurture thing, huh?
Yes. And so that's why you want to get the complete picture as far as how things affect individuals. How do our conditions affect us? You know, I always think about I'm surprised I wasn't lead poisoned or something like that growing up, because I remember, back in the day when we didn't have air conditioning. And so we would lay, right by the windows. And I remember those windows, sometimes the paint was a little cracked around the window sills. And I'm thinking that now I'm older, I'm like, that could have been lead. It could have affected me back then. Absolutely. But we didn't have those things. And so now that we're older, how is that going to really, translate to our children and children's children?
Right.
Next slide. And so basically, as I mentioned to you all, there will be like an enrollment process as where that you can go into our system. You have to be 18 years or older. There's a lot of online interactions that kind of go on as far as that you will consent to say that, yes, I want to be involved in this program. This also includes information as far as sharing your electronic health records. And I'll talk a little bit more later about how you can really feel comfortable in doing that, because it really allows for people to feel safe as far as what NIH does, how it works with the different, hospitals and things like that. So what you would do is that there are like 6 different types of surveys, and it probably they're short surveys. So it's not like, extensive. I would say on an average, probably about an hour to hour and a half that you would go through. You would just have to do the first 3 for the initial contact that we would need in order then to move to the next level. And these questions are like, they'll ask things about like, do you, like, of course, your age and, different other things like, how do you live in certain areas? What you live in an apartment? It's a lot of different things. It talks about your health and also about your living conditions. After that, what happens is that
be honest too. We need people to be honest as much as you can. Don't if you're not a healthy eater, I eat salads all day. You need to put exactly.
I know I don't
help you out. The more honest you are, the more honest information you give, the better help you're going to receive. But I want to encourage our listeners, our watchers, those who are viewing tonight, that this is a safe process, because people are very paranoid about their information. Truth be told, there's no privacy anymore, hardly any.
Anywhere.
But I want us to just encourage our viewing audience that this is a private area, and no one's going to just tap into your medical records, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's so correct. No one can do that. The way it works is that the information that you provide to us, NIH keeps that information in their system. But once you do the surveys, then you will come in and schedule an appointment. We're going to be doing pop-ups in different locations. So they might be at some of your church or different areas in the community as well. We're getting approval to open back up to do that from NIH after COVID hit. But then what you do is that we'll schedule an appointment with you. You will come in, and then what we'll do is get some physical measurements from you, like your blood pressure, your heart rate, your weight, your height, your hip circumference, and your waist. And then what we'll do after that is that we'll ask for biosamples. And the ultimate goal is to get the blood and the urine. Some people don't feel comfortable with giving out the urine or the blood. They might just want to do oral. We're starting to get more into that. However, it doesn't get as in depth with your DNA and your genetics. And so the more that we get, the better it comes up that way. And then after that, we're going to also have some digital sharing with that. I also wanted to mention, like when you come in and you give those biosamples, what we do is that the staff then will take those tubes, they will put numbers on them. So that way, then there's another list that goes to another location that then has your name with the number, and then the tubes have just a number. And so that way we can keep things where it's very confidential. The other thing I want to mention too is that in order for someone or researchers to really work with the biosamples and get information, they have to join. And there's an oath that they have to take. And we always want to make sure that they follow through on that. One thing that I wanted to mention about the database that I think is so key is that individuals that sign up and become a part of this, there's a database, but this database, NIH pays others to see if they can crack it and get into the system, and they haven't been able to do that either. And if something like that would happen, we would definitely have to share that information, just like your creditors in different places when you get those little emails or notes. But so far, because of the proaction of what NIH is doing, we don't have to worry about that because they have people to check it out constantly to see if they can crack into the system.
Karen, I think it's, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, for those who are just coming on, would you identify what NIH is? We know what
I'm
that is.
sorry. Yes, a National Institute of Health, NIH. Thank you, Bishop. Yes, because the National Institute of Health, I know that you all know that this is an organization that really looks at all types of health. And so this is one area that they have identified. And I just want to, for those that are coming on, this was initiated by President Obama. And so it's still continuing to go on because he realized the importance of getting personalized health. And, you know, I'm just thinking about, there was a quote that actually that President Obama said that I thought was so important. And I'm going to read this because it really kind of highlights what you need to think about. And it says, doctors have always recognized that every patient is unique. And doctors have always tried to tailor their treatments as best they can to individuals. Can you match a blood transfusion to a blood type? That has an important discovery. What if matching a cancer cure to our genetic code was just as easy, just as standard? What if figuring out the right dose of medicine was simple as taking our temperature? And I always think about, I always think about how many people that I know. Go ahead, Linda. I'm sorry.
He called it actually a bold new effort to revolutionize how we improve and treat health. I also wanted to add, Karen, since you were talking about expectations, that participants are not asked to take any kind of medicines, any kind. I mean, it's none of that. The only thing you're required to do is to give a urine and a blood sample. But taking medications or anything, we're not. It's not an experimental thing like that. No.
Right. And once you come in, or we come to your location and you give the blood and urine, what will happen is you'll get a $25 gift card. And we realize that's not a lot because NIH doesn't want to bribe people to pay them for this research. But we realize that your time and gas are effort. And so that's a small token of appreciation.
You want to address this? If you already have my chart, will this information be added or will the information be found on another database? So I'm not quite sure how this person, Laura, how would they already have your chart? If you're just becoming part of this project, they wouldn't have your chart already. You are offering your samples, right?
Right. But what I'm thinking is that maybe they're talking about when you find out more about your genetics and information and research that they're doing. No, that will not be added to your chart. Even like if your genetic information that they send you, if you want to have discussion with your doctor, you have to share that information. That's not going to be a part of your chart because we believe in keeping things confidential.
So when I come to you and donate my urine and blood, no other medical facility has to know what I'm donating, correct?
Correct. That's right. We keep it very confidential. Yes.
But another benefit that we should mention also is that we should re-emphasize. Karen mentioned it earlier, is that the participants have access to their data, which means that's something that you can share with your family.
Now that's a great incentive right there.
Yes.
Many people, you talk to people and you ask people, what's your blood type? They don't even know.
They don't know.
The fact that they can get their own information and keep it, and their children can know if anything happens to mom, dad, sister, brother, hey, their blood type is XYZ.
Correct.
So that's good. That's good. Will you be providing different times to donating? Absolutely.
Yes.
And we'll be having a time where you'll be coming to Mount Zion, and we'll get that together, and we will definitely advertise it because we want to be a beacon of hope and light in the community. We're not just dispensing Bible and biblical truths. We're also dispensing truths and wisdom And so that's why I read from Hosea, when Hosea, he says, my people suffer because of lack of knowledge. As
Yes.
a matter of fact, the Bible says in one translation, they perish
Mm,
Yes.
for knowledge. And so
yes.
we don't want to perish. There's so many things that if we would just read and grasp and adhere to, we could live longer, healthier lives if we would just read and know what we should be doing with our bodies. Because a lot of our eating, a lot of our diet is from our ancestors, even when we know the truth. People know certain meats are not good for them. They still want some ribs every now and then. Come on, somebody.
And it's all right every now and then.
Moderation, right?
But
Moderation.
moderation. But
Yeah.
many of us, that is our diet. Period.
Yeah.
Period.
Mhm.
Fried,
And
salted.
education is a big part of that.
Yeah.
Because even after you tell people this is not good for you, if you eat peach cobbler every day, you will
That's my
grow up
favorite.
too much
That's
sugar.
my favorite.
My favorite as well. Listen.
So
Sometimes
it's
Oh,
cultural. It's ingrained in our
I
culture.
know. Oh, my grandmother.
And
Yes. Oh, that used to be the best.
we're talking about revolutionizing medicine. We're also revolutionizing the way we live,
yes.
the way we think about health,
Way we think.
and
Yeah.
our responsibility to pass on to educate the younger people in our
Yes.
younger generations in our family as well. And this, which brings me to the point: anyone 18 years old or older, anywhere from 18 on till 100,
Yes.
you are qualified to participate in the research.
Yes. And,
And the
you know, and
study.
Qualify somebody. I mean, all you want is the urine sample or the blood. So what would disqualify somebody?
well, underage right now, we're looking at wanting to get children under age 18 involved. But right now, there's a lot of process that we have to go through NIH as well to get that started. And then those that are incarcerated, those are not the ones as well. But everybody else, basically, if you want to be involved, the door is open for you.
And that goes for those, Karen, who may have illnesses like myself, correct?
Well, that is so interesting you said that, Linda, because when I've gone to like different churches and gatherings, the people that are challenged the most are the first ones that want to sign up because they get it.
Good.
They get
Right.
it because,
Right.
it's like,
Right.
because I've gone through like one issue to, one doctor to another doctor
Right.
to another doctor
Right.
to another doctor till you finally find somebody that can figure it out, and so having something like this where you're going to have personalized treatment, that is
Yes.
the goal of this program, then you know that they can look at your genetics, they can look at your DNA and say, okay, Linda, based on that and the research, the probability is much greater that this will work, that
Mm.
you should get some results. Wouldn't it be great to know in advance as
Yeah.
far as like what are some of the challenges that you possibly could get down the road that you could be more proactive to
Right.
not do certain things so that way you will live healthier, longer lives.
Right.
These are the kinds of things that this program is designed to want to do.
So
Right.
will the program, if I say I donate blood tonight, will you be able to say you're prone for this disease and you're prone for that disease? And
Well,
watch out for this and don't eat fatty this or fatty that, or don't do this. Will that help as well?
well, and that will be like more genetics that NIH, what they're looking at. And I'm so glad, Bishop, that you mentioned this, because what NIH is looking at before they're going to deliver that type of medicine about the probability of certain things that could be really concern you, that you feel like, what should I do? They're going to also have specialists and people to talk to people about that.
Good.
Okay. And then if people want to share that with their doctors, they can do that. And so that allows for people, they won't be able to do treatment, but they will still have someone that can kind of guide them through that process when we get to that level of giving that type of return.
Can we talk about, and I don't want to get ahead of your slideshow, but we have about maybe 20 more minutes left. How much are we involved in this process? We meaning African American. Can you talk about your personnel? Are there Black doctors involved in this? Are there Black research biochemists involved in this?
Well, there are, it's kind of interesting because there are two people related to the program that are doctors, and there is Dr. Jeff Whittle, and he's a white male man, and then we have Dr. Zeno Franco, who is Latino. So they are like what you call principal investigators for the program, that they kind of look at to ensure that protocols being followed appropriately. But then we also have staff that are African American, like me. We have men, we have women, we have individuals that also speak Spanish as well. So
Okay.
we have a team of people working with us on a national level. Yes, they try to make sure that there is diversity
Have
in
to
the
be.
program with researchers and also with community advisory board members on a national level. So it's not only that they want to get the researchers and the doctors involved, we also want to hear from participants. And we even have a participant advisory board with our program, that individuals that join our program that wants to be involved with hearing from the doctors and hearing about different things that we're doing on a local level, and also having some influence on a national level, they can join it as well. So, we have a community advisory board, and Linda Jackson Crowcroft is a part of that as well. And then we have other professionals that are in charge of different organizations or run
Great.
programs that are involved as well. So there's a diversity of what we have. There's an inclusion of having just about every area of people involved that can really help us make a difference.
That's incredible. Kind of like food for us, by us, right?
Yes, yes. Yeah, Karen, mention some of the groups who have already endorsed the program and are participating.
Sure. Well, and I'm just going to kind of look at my list because I know we have quite a few of them here. And actually, um, if you can scroll to page 14.
Here we go.
Oh, there we go. So as you can see, there are a lot of different organizations that partner with us, a lot of the fraternities, sororities. So that kind of gives you like Black Women's, and then you can see all the other different organizations, Asian Health Coalition. We have some African American different entities involved in this as well. Then the next page really kind of shows you some of the.
That NAACP is also endorsing, or have they been approached?
I'm looking at that list and I don't see them on here. And that would be a good question that I probably should check into to see exactly if they have endorsed this as well. But I know like the National Baptist Church is involved in this.
Okay.
I'm just looking to see if they are, because there's also a list that I provided to you.
There we go.
Yeah, that list there. We have the National Black Nurses Association, the National Minority Quality Forum.
I wonder if the local chapter of the Nurses Affecting Change would also be a part of that.
Yeah, I don't see that listed here.
But that's okay. That's okay. You have quite a few. You have a myriad of partners and people who are endorsing this, and we just have to stress that we have to help ourselves. We can't always look from without. We have to look from within.
Yes.
We have to look from within.
Yeah, and be more proactive instead of always left in a position where we are reacting to something, a situation, when it's too late to have any real impact.
I think the fact that we will have Black researchers, Black chemists, Black doctors, people need to see people that look like them.
That's right.
I hate to say it, but sometimes we are, because of our history, we're not very trusting of other people, just because of how it has devastated the African American community on a large scale.
Yes.
And so
that is so true.
like that's one reason why a lot of Black people initially did not get the COVID shot, because of flashbacks.
Of fear, exactly. Of not trusting.
Yes, and I think it's totally understandable.
Absolutely.
But it is what it is. It's time to move forward.
Absolutely. And that's why I like that this program is it's going to be such a help to the body of Christ, the world. It's going to be helpful if I know that I'm prone to certain things, or my blood suggests that this, if God doesn't intervene, this may or may not happen. I think this is so important. We know that God is a healer. The name of the church is Mount Zion Assembly Healing Temple. So we believe that God heals. And guess how he heals? He doesn't always heal by someone laying hands on you. Sometimes he heals through medicine. He gives man the ability. He gives man the know-how. We know that God is the master physician, and we know that man practices, but we ultimately have to put our trust and our hope in God. But guess what, people? Folks who are watching, God gives man the insight. He gives man the wherewithal to study. God is a God of science. And so I'm always pushing the fact that we have to read and research. And the Bible is a great roadmap. But like Hosea said, my people perish for lack of knowledge.
Yes.
And so we have to go beyond our walls and beyond our borders to see that God is helping through the vaccine and through other things. And so I know I have several people who are watching, who are even close to me, who are not quite sure. And I know this is not a broadcast about the vaccine, but it's an overall thing about trust. It's an overall thing about trusting God, trusting the process. We got vaccines as kids, here we are, 30, 40, 50, 60 years later, those of us who are in our 50s and perhaps 60s, 70s, whoever's watching, those vaccines saved our lives. So all we can do is pray that this all about us, all for us, all of it, we can just pray that we have men and women of God who are navigating us through these health crises. And that's why we need you all to be a part of this research project, because it's going to help us.
Yes. And Bishop, what's so interesting is that when we talk, and I have to talk a little bit about the vaccine, because I'm working also with one of it's called Fight COVID Milwaukee programs at the medical college. And so, what's so interesting is that people don't realize that the medications for the vaccine started even before COVID was in existence. This is just something a little bit different. So they knew how to add things and to make it so it could respond to the virus. And so that's why I always tell people that if you're unsure, start doing your research. Do your research. Find out, what does it do in your body? Well, how does it allow for you to fight it? Because if you just look at social media, a lot of times that information is not accurate. It could be from other places. You need to do your research. Look at it. See, what does it do inside your body? How does it fight? And how are people still making a difference? You need to really do your research. And I think that's really key. And that's what. Yes.
I want to add the caveat: do your research and talk to medical people, because they're doing research. Yes. And some of the research online is that, it changes your DNA. And somebody came to me and said, you know what, it makes you sterile. I said, and where did you hear that?
Oh, you hear so many different things. I mean,
they're researching, but they're researching from the wrong sources. Right. And so it's really important that you talk to medical staff, medical personnel. Sherlyn Brown is one of our members of our church. So was Laura Glover, by the way. I didn't mean to discount her question earlier. What benefits have individuals already gained from this knowledge by being a participant versus information that will be gained? Can you provide numbers and percentages? Because we're still in the infancy stage, I don't know how much research you have with that.
Right. I think we're really just starting to look at some of that research. And so if you're interested, you can always go to All of Us. You can go to the website of All of Us, and you can find exactly some of the things that they've been doing.
Is that .org or .com?
Let me just .org. I'm sorry. You can go to the website. It's called joinallofus.org. And that'll and then you can just go in and see some of those different things that has been happening.
Right. But or you could also just enter NIH for National Institutes of Health.
Yes.
NIH, All of Us.
All of Us. Yes. Thank you, Linda.
Sure. Great. Yeah. And you have prepared quite a few PowerPoint areas. And so I know we haven't gotten to half of it. Let's go to just a couple more because our time is coming to a close.
Sure, most definitely. Let's see. I just want to kind of go back. Yeah, can you go back about 3 or 4 slides where it talks about genetics?
Yes.
Let me just.
Perfect.
Okay. One thing that I wanted to make sure that people are aware of is like, does all of us provide medical genetic testing? And this is what it does. And I want to make sure people know. Not exactly. All of us is a research program. We do not do genetic tests for medical treatment or diagnosis, but as we analyze your DNA for research, we may see information that may affect your health. So, if you get health related DNA results from all of us, those results are not a diagnosis. Only the healthcare provider can diagnose you with a health condition and determine how to treat you. If you are concerned about your DNA results, discuss your DNA results with your healthcare provider, and they may decide to do further tests to diagnose you. If you do not have a healthcare provider, you may ask our genetic counseling resource to connect you with one. And so they do have a counselor that you can talk to, and they can help you too once you get those results. So I think that's really key for people to know that this isn't about we won't treat, but we can also identify and analyze, and then also give recommendations that your doctor then can go in and do more research and checking on.
Right.
Next slide, please.
Important. That's really important because people do want to know, are you going to diagnose me? No, but I will show you what's in your blood, and then you take that result to your doctor, right?
And that's really good.
Those of us who have signed up for Ancestry.com, I've done Ancestry.com, I've done 23andMe, and so it's really, really important. It's really important to know what's in your blood, what's in your makeup.
Yeah, and then what will you expect, or what can we share with the participants? Your ancestry, where your family comes from. I was just talking with one of the pastors today, and he was just saying that he was a part of our program and also a veteran, but he also mentioned that he did receive his information back from the All of Us research program, and it was like 80-something% was from the west part of Africa, and the southern part of Africa around 12 or 18%. So he was able to get that information. And so that is kind of key, especially for us, because a lot of times we just don't know exactly where we originated from and what different types of ancestry is involved in our, in our lineage. The other thing, go ahead.
Sense of pride as well. It gives you a sense of pride to know, yes, we are of African descent, but I've done that same thing with my family. To find 40% here and I'm 20% this and 10% that. It's a sense of pride and attachment and a sense of belonging.
Yes, yes, yes. There are over 35,000 diseases.
Oh my goodness.
There are over 35,000 documented diseases today. What this program will do by recruiting 1 million people, and that's the goal of all of us, to recruit 1 million people, is to better match people with the categories of their disease and consequently improve the technology, the treatments, everything associated with wellness for those individuals. This is the only thing out here that is promising, pledging to advise customized medical care.
Yes, thank you, Linda. And the other thing is that it will also give like certain traits as far as why you might like certain things, or certain things taste a certain way. It might be bitter, soapy, or whatever. Then also whether you may have an increased risk of developing a particular health condition.
Yes.
So they can also give that information, and then how your body might react to certain medications and other related health information.
Wow.
And then, finally, what I would like to say is that we plan to use many different methods to check the DNA information. You may get some DNA results sooner than others. It will also take some time to get DNA results. Some participants may not get their information for a few years. Some of them are starting to get it now, but we're getting it, and we want to make sure it's accurate. So I just want to make people aware that this is a program that really can go on and on. And, you know, one thing that I always like to tell people is that this research program was able to do something when COVID first hit that was kind of like unheard of if it wasn't, this program wasn't established. And that was that they were able, with the biosamples that were given, they were able to go back to see exactly what parts of the country
Wow.
first was affected by COVID, by those samples. And so they were able to see that COVID was actually in the United States a lot sooner than what we thought. So
I believe so.
Yeah. And so they were able to do that just on those biosamples. People didn't even know that they had it. You know, and so that's so I was just like blown away, like, wow, we are already making a significant difference because there were so many unanswered questions about loved ones and other people that all of a sudden they weren't, you know, feeling well. They didn't live after, you know, getting a cold or whatever. We didn't know that. And so we were able to get some things answered sooner.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, we have a couple more minutes if you want to talk about another slide or so, but I think you did a great summation of why we have to get involved in the process of our own success, people. We have to get involved we can't always wait for the government, can't wait for this one or that one. This is something that I was just really impressed with. And that's why I will be sharing more with Mount Zion and other churches about this, because we have to, it's good for us to we have to be part of our own equation of our own success, as I said.
Yes.
You can't wait for other people. And this program under the Obama administration, I believe is going to be a blessing to people. Now, you said something, Miss Jackson, you said that there are over 35 diseases. And what
35,000.
35,000, I'm sorry, 35,000 diseases. And what comes to my mind is that Jesus was beaten with 40 stripes. And all 40 stripes cover different aspects of every disease. So of those 35 diseases, they all fit into 40 categories. So when he was beaten for us, he was bruised for our iniquity. He was beaten for us. He was bruised. He wants us to be healed. The Bible says, I would that you prosper and be in good health.
Yes.
Even as your soul prospers. And so we must be more proactive, as Ms. Jackson said, must be proactive about our health and be proactive and not reactive. And we all fail. We all know we shouldn't eat certain things. We know we eat in excess of certain things. But at some point you have to be accountable. And this is what this program to me says, that we are now being accountable as African Americans and Latinas and everyone else that this affects. I'm glad this is cross-generational. I'm glad this is inclusive. I'm glad that this will be, like you said earlier, we had in a private conversation, you may not see the results in this lifetime, but your children and your grandchildren, they'll be able to guide life. They'll be able to streamline and guide their life because of precision medicine. So I appreciate you all for coming on today. God bless you. Yes, he took a stripe for it. That's right.
Thank God for that.
With his stripes, we were healed. One scripture says we are healed, but another scripture says we were healed, meaning that he was already beaten for whatever you have now. He was already beaten for that 2,000 years ago. It's not my time to preach, but anyway.
The past, present, and the future.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So do you have any closing remarks before we end this broadcast?
Yes, I do. And actually, if people are interested and they would like to call us, they can call us at 414-955-2689. That's 414-955-2689. Or you can just go onto the website, and it's called joinallofus.org. And if you put a slash in there, Wisconsin, then you would get information about just how you can join in the Wisconsin area. So it's joinallofus.org, and that you can start your path to being a part of this wonderful program. I did the research before I even decided to take this position because I had to feel good about this. And I knew what was happening before, with research, especially with African Americans. And I wanted to make sure that I would feel comfortable by presenting this to our people, especially, And so after I did that, I said, this is something that we need to have, because I thought, like Linda said, you go from one doctor to the other doctor to the other doctor, and they still don't know. And we need to be able to get answers. So thank you, Bishop Monica, for bringing us on today.
Yes. May I add just one final thing? People talk about being involved and doing things to help the community overall. This is an excellent opportunity to take your sister friends, take your book clubs, make it a project for your church, for whatever social circles you have, or circles of influence. And you know what your circles of influence are. But share the information with them.
Yes.
Come to the office if you choose to get brochures and other literature to share at your events, at your gatherings.
And so, I wanted to add also that we have staff for that as well that can come and help you support that effort.
Right.
She wasn't able to put that up on the screen. So a short version just called the INH.
Well, no, you can call.
Call Sharon's office.
You can just call our office, and that you can just. I think if you go to the last page 13, it has our information on it. If you go to page 13.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, go to page 13, and that'll have it. Okay, and so there's the phone number there. There's our office. These are all the different websites that you can go and get information. We're located in the Curita building at 1000 North 92nd Street, G150. And if you have any questions, you can just call. And if you want to talk to me, feel free to ask for me. We have receptionists. We have people that do community engagement. We have our clinicians. So we have people that can really answer questions for you and also assist you with signing up. We have people that if you aren't feeling comfortable about going on the computer, they can walk you through the process. You can come to our location. We can also sit with you to make sure you get that information in the system. We're going to also, when we do our pop-ups, like at Bishop's Church, we're going to have staff that can help you enroll into the program. And also we'll have clinical staff there as well.
That's great. That's great. We are so honored and pleased that you were able to join us. Thank you, Miss Linda Jackson Colcroft, for bringing this to our attention. Can you just talk briefly about your magazine real quick?
My magazine, this is the 18th year of publication. I started it to honor the legacy of my mother, who passed in 2001. And it just took on a life of its own. It went beyond any depression I had, to being a valuable tool and resource for Black women. As you know, we are a direct connection. Black women 50 plus are a direct connection to the entire Black population. So that's when I say know your circle of influence. All of us are influencers.
Yes.
All of us are influencers.
Yes.
Take advantage of that and make sure that your circle is healthy and informed. I got away from the magazine, didn't I? It's a quarterly publication.
You've been doing this for 18 years.
Yes, it's a quarterly publication. I'm always looking for stories about women who are making a difference in the community, making a difference in the lives of others. So if you hear if you hear anything, if you know someone like that, please let me know.
Great. It's a beautiful publication. I've been looking at it for years. The color, it's quality writing. It's just a wonderful magazine in our community, and it's a consistent magazine. So we appreciate it. Well, from Mount Zion Assembly Healing Temple, we thank you for joining us. Those of you who want more information, please give us a call or go to our website, mtzht.org, Mount Zion Assembly Healing Temple. That's what it stands for, .org. Or you can call us for prayer, whatever you need. We have our community food giveaway this first Saturday. Every first Saturday, we give away food. We have clothing. If you need clothes, include in between. We also have a a clothing boutique. I call it Mount Zion Boutique Shop for free. We have women and men who are going back into the workforce after having maybe some difficult times in their life. We have clothes, we have all kinds of things for you. So join us this Saturday. I see it on the bottom. Thank you, Tiff, for our first Saturday food drive and clothing. Please come if you know someone who needs it. This is the hour we're here to help each other. And we've been doing this even before the pandemic, but certainly the pandemic has caused people to rally together to help the community even more so. All right, so thank you very much. God bless you. In Jesus' name, we are here in the sanctuary every Sunday at 12 noon. You can join us live in the sanctuary. We are in person as well as online, and also join us for Saturday Night Live at 5 every Saturday. Saturday Night Live at 5. Join us in Jesus' name. God bless you.
Love you all.